In the world of steel production, three companies stand out for their contrasting fortunes: Ajaokuta Steel of Nigeria, Perwaja Steel of Malaysia, and POSCO Steel of South Korea. While the story of Perwaja Steel and Ajaokuta Steel is one of struggles and eventual failure, the trajectory of POSCO Steel is marked by remarkable success. In this video by Africa Rebound, we compare and contrast the failures of Perwaja Steel and Ajaokuta Steel with the great success of POSCO Steel of South Korea. We unveil the foundational factors behind their divergent paths, focusing on the quality of their foreign investment partnerships and the steel technologies adopted by each company. At the end of the video, we highlight the key lessons for Nigeria's current plans to resuscitate Ajaokuta Steel. If you're interested in receiving more economic development insights of this nature, be sure to subscribe to this channel. The steel industry is a critical sector for industrial development. The industry provides essential materials for construction, manufacturing, and infrastructure development. The rise and fall of Perwaja Steel of Malaysia. Perwaja Steel was established in 1982 by the Malaysian government as a joint venture between the government-owned Heavy Industries Corporation, HICOM, and the Japanese company, Nippon Steel Corporation. Despite significant investment and government support, Perwaja faced numerous challenges. 1. Perwaja's foreign investment partnership with Nippon Steel was plagued by mismanagement and lack of coherent strategic direction. The partnership was more transactional than strategic, with foreign partners not being fully committed to the long-term success and development of the company. The partnership failed to provide the technological edge needed by Perwaja Steel in order to effectively compete globally. Nippon Steel eventually pulled out of the project. 2. The quality of Perwaja Steel's adopted technology was another significant issue. The initial technology transfer from Japan did not translate effectively into operational success. The machinery and production methods were often outdated by the time they were implemented. Perwaja Steel struggled with production inefficiencies, high operational costs, and quality control issues. As a result of these technical difficulties, Perwaja Steel churned out products which were often inferior relative to international standards, thus affecting the company's competitiveness. 3. Financial and operational challenges. Financial mismanagement, corruption, and poor governance further compounded Perwaja's problems. The company experienced cash flow challenges, which led to multiple bailouts by the Malaysian government. However, these efforts were not enough to turn around the company's fortunes. By the late 1990s, Perwaja was overburdened with operational inefficiencies and unsustainable debt, leading to its eventual collapse. More than $4 billion went down the drain as a result of the failure of Perwaja Steel. The stillbirth of Nigeria's Ajaokuta Steel Company. Ajaokuta Steel Plant was conceived as the bedrock of Nigeria's quest for industrialization. The initial contract for the construction of Ajaokuta Steel Plant was signed in June 1976 for about $8 billion, and commercial production was scheduled to commence 4 years later in 1980. The contract was awarded to then Soviet Union and now Russian contractor Technoprom Export, TPE. The project costs were reviewed upwards several times, such that by 1980, the project cost had risen to $13 billion. A few years later, the government announced the partial completion of the project with the commissioning of the light mill section and the wire rod mill. The plant is said to be more than 90% completed. However, it has yet to produce a single sheet of steel in 40 years. Like Malaysia's Perwaja Steel, it would seem that Ajaokuta Steel was also doomed to fail from the start. So what factors are responsible for this failure? 1. Nigeria adopted old-fashioned blast furnace steel technology proposed by TPE of Russia simply because Russia agreed to provide the funding. 2. The iron ore for the project was to be sourced and transported by rail from Itakpe, which is located over 60 kilometers away. And 3. A river port was to be built to receive the required cooking coal, which had to be imported. Billions of dollars went down the drains with nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. The success story of South Korea's POSCO Steel. In stark contrast to Perwaja Steel and Ajaokuta Steel, POSCO Steel is a testament to successful industrial strategy and execution. The Korean government established Pohang Steel Company, or POSCO, in 1968. Construction of the plant began in April 1970, and the plant was commissioned only 3 years later, in July 1973. POSCO Steel has grown to become one of the largest and most efficient steel producers in the world. POSCO achieved a total sales of a whopping $58 billion in 2023. So why and how did South Korea succeed in steel development where Nigeria and Malaysia failed? Number 1. Strategic partnerships. POSCO's foreign investment partnerships were strategic and long-term in nature. The company forged strong alliances with the same Nippon Steel and other Japanese firms, which were instrumental in technology, transfer, and operational expertise. In contrast to Perwaja Steel, POSCO's partnerships were characterized by strategic alignment. Nippon Steel was involved in long-term planning and development, ensuring that POSCO Steel received the best technological support and management practices. Number 2, and more importantly, the South Koreans were rather smart and thorough in project management and technology due diligence. They conducted multiple re-validations of the technical advice received from Nippon Steel, who were the main providers of the steel technology. South Korea went further to approach BHP, the Australian mining company, to get all Nippon Steel's engineering designs and reports thoroughly reviewed. Furthermore, South Korea engaged another independent steel specialist to conduct additional reviews of the reports from both Nippon Steel and BHP. The South Korean government were meticulous and displayed wisdom in listening to many experts. They were circumspect about completely trusting a single foreign contractor. This is one attribute or mentality African nations will do well to imbibe and apply in project management. Never assume that foreign multinational companies will automatically serve an African country's national interests. Number 3, strong governance and effective management. POSCO Steel Company was known for its efficiency, strong governance, and strategic management. The company emphasized continuous improvement and operational excellence. As emerging economies seek to develop their industries, the experiences of Perwaja Steel, Ajaokuta Steel, and POSCO Steel provide very useful insights into what drives industrial success and what are the causes of industrial project failure. Specifically, Nigeria's current plans to resuscitate Ajaokuta Steel can draw valuable lessons from the success story of POSCO Steel. Number 1, plant assessment and modernization. Nigeria needs to conduct a thorough assessment of the current state of the plant, determine the feasibility of modernizing and upgrading the plant to meet contemporary production standards. Number 2, strategic partnerships. Nigeria should seek out partnerships with leading companies in the global steel industry who are willing to invest long-term in the project and support technology transfer. Besides Nippon Steel of Japan, there are a few other credible global steel producers with whom partnerships should be explored, such as Baowu Steel of China, ArcelorMittal of India, as well as An Steel of China. Joint ventures with foreign entities or contract-based short-term partnerships is likely to fail again and again. Number 3, go for modern, efficient technologies. Nigeria must avoid the adoption of obsolete technologies. it is imperative to invest in modern steel technologies and production methods to ensure efficiency, quality, and competitiveness in the global steel market. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comment section. If you're interested in learning more about economic development topics, be sure to subscribe to this channel and check out the other videos.